Hello everyone and welcome to part 2 of the Paludarium build. Today's episode with me planting the background and building the hardscape for the aquarium, and you are watching Scales and Tails. To kick this episode off, we done a water test, so we just filled it up, left it for about half an hour. There was no leak, so we emptied it again. I went to my local aquarium store and got some filter foam. This will be used as like a protective layer between the glass, and since we're going to be using rocks as hardscape, it's important so the glass doesn't get scratched or cracked. These did come in big squares, so I had to cut it down to size. The substrate we'll be using in this aquarium is aquarium soil, also known as aqua soil. This just helps plants grow quickly and healthily because it's full of nutrients. However, this stuff can be pretty pricey. This was £18 for the litre bag, and I ended up using the whole entire bag for this build. Now it's all in, I just spread it around. For the hardscape, we're going to be using these 2 bits of dragonstone. This stuff does come out and above the water. I like the look of that, because it kind of blends the 2 background and the aquarium bit together. It also allows access to the land area from the water. I did like the look of the 2 rocks kind of leaning against each other, kind of built up from a centerpiece. And I made sure to bury them in the ground so they wouldn't move around. Now when it comes to cleaning the expanding foam or silicone off of the glass, just get some sort of flat blade or scalpel and just move it along the glass. Make sure there's no angle to the blade because it will leave scratch marks on the glass. So moving on to planting the background, you're going to need some sphagnum moss, and I'll show you what it's used for in a minute. The first plant we're going to be adding is some meadow spike moss. This kind of looked like bushy, and I was hoping it would go and grow around the background. So the first thing you want to do, remove the plant from the plant pot it came in and break away all of the soil from the roots. You don't have to be perfect, just need to get the majority of it off. Then once you've done that, get the sphagnum moss and wrap the roots in it until it looks like this. I planted the spike moss in the corner, and now we're moving on to the Phytonia. Here's the look of the plant. I like the look of the leaves, and hopefully it will sprout outwards, make some big leaves for any sort of animal to climb on. Same process with this one, just break all of the soil off of the roots. And then we're going to get some more sphagnum moss, and before we put the plant in, we're going to put some sphagnum moss in the plant pot that's in the background, just to create like a base. Here we're going to add our plant. The roots are currently covered in more sphagnum moss, and we're just shoving it into the hole. Here's what it looked like when it was in. Make sure to fill all of your pots up with as much sphagnum moss as you can fit in it. Here's what it looked like when this plant was finished. The next plant we're going to add is this vine. This vine is actually a clipping I took off of my main plant. I did cut it right at the base of a leaf. This is just to, get better root growth. Obviously there's no roots in this one, you just have to wrap the base of the vine that you've taken a cutting of in sphagnum moss and then put that in the hole. Make sure you get the base of this as far in as you can, because since there's no roots to support it, it will just fall out. Yet again, here I am just filling up the remainder of the plant pot with some sphagnum moss. The reason I put the vine at the top is so it can kind of grow down and across all of these sticks that are poking out. So this is a good point to say, if you enjoyed the video so far, please like and subscribe. I did try to get most of the sphagnum moss out of the bottom of the tank. However, when you put the water in, they will just float to the top and you can just net it out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode, and if you did, please hit that subscribe button, and hope to see you in the next one.